When you think of what the best Dragon Ball Z game is, I bet your mind probably goes to games such as Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Fighters, or Xenoverse. If you think any of these games are the best, then guess what? You're probably right. Each of these games have different things going for them that make them all very unique and different from each other. Despite this, I'm not going to be talking about any of these games, because I want to talk about my personal favorite Dragon Ball Z game, Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans. Personally, I believe this is an underrated gem that I haven't really seen much discussion about online. So exactly what is this game? Attack of the Saiyans was basically a Dragon Ball JRPG with turn-based combat, developed for the DS in 2009 by Monolith Soft. Oddly enough, despite the title indicating that the game would primarily focus on the Saiyan saga of Dragon Ball Z, the game actually begins 3 years before the Piccolo Jr. saga, the final arc of the first Dragon Ball anime. So why am I comfortable calling this game one of the best Dragon Ball Z games out there alongside the other titles I mentioned? Well, there are a lot of reasons why I really like this game that I'm going to get into right now. But first I have to admit something. I enjoy playing turn-based JRPGs. That's right, I know turn-based combat isn't everyone's cup of tea, but personally I enjoy turn-based combat. Games like Pokemon Black and White, Mother 3, Chrono Trigger, and Final Fantasy VII are all games that have turn-based combat that I really enjoy. Naturally, I was bound to like a game such as this one that had two of my favorite things, turn-based JRPGs and Dragon Ball. Another thing I should disclose is that I have a fair bit of nostalgia for this game, but I'm confident that I'll be able to see through it for the sake of this video. Now with my personal biases out of the way, let's get into why I like this game so much. First things first, the sprite work in this game is absolutely gorgeous, with all the battle animations and locations looking insanely well done. The game's art style is presented in a traditional 2D sprite animation style, akin to other JRPGs before it. While the overworld sprites for the characters look alright, what makes the art style unique is the sprite work done for the battles. All of the animations are so dynamic and flow so well that they look like they came straight from the anime. Speaking of the battles, let's talk about them and how they work. There are a total of 6 playable characters in the game: Gohan, Goku, Krillin, Piccolo, Tien, and Yamcha. You can use up to 3 of these characters at a time when battling in any combination you desire. While each character can attack, block, and use items, they also have individual skills that are unique to that character, with the exception of 2 moves that multiple characters know. The Kamehameha, which Krillin, Goku, and Yamcha all know, and the Solar Flare, which Tien and Krillin both know. Each character starts off with only a few moves they can use, but as you continue battling and leveling up, you can unlock new moves and level up your existing ones using something called AP, which you obtain through, you guessed it, battling, though some moves are only unlocked by progressing through the story, such as Piccolo's Special Beam Cannon. In addition to learning these moves, characters can also learn ultimate attacks that are super powerful and deal large amounts of damage. These ultimate attacks can be performed by having a character fill up their rage gauge, which fills when a character receives or deals damage. Alternatively, a full rage gauge can be used to perform sparking combos, or S combos as they are referred to in the game, which is basically when 2 or more characters combine their attacks together to deal major damage. To perform an S combo, you not only need a full rage gauge for the characters you want to do the combo, but you also need to use the correct attacks for the specific character to pull off the combo you want. Some of the combos can be pretty obvious as to which moves and characters you need to use, but others can be pretty ambiguous at times. These S combos are pretty cool and probably my favorite part of the game. My favorite S combos have to be the Kamehameha Fever, and Demon Wolf Crane. One more thing that the battles have going for them is the Active Guard, or A Guard, which can be performed by every character and lets them take minimal damage when used. To use the A Guard, you have to press the character's corresponding button right before they are attacked, which is determined by their placement in battle. If they are on the top slot, you press X. If they are in the middle slot, you press Y, and if they are on the bottom slot, you press B. Ironically, despite being called the A Guard, you can use every button except A to perform the A Guard, which I just thought was kind of funny. Anyways, the story of this game follows the story of its source anime from before the Piccolo Jr. saga to the end of the Saiyan saga, which doesn't seem like a lot of content to pack into a full-price game. But the developers had a solution for this problem, by padding the game out with extra additions to the story. The game does this by pulling from filler stories in the anime, such as Goku falling off Snake Way, or Gohan making friends with C6 in the Nemora ruins, and also by creating its own scenarios, such as the segment at the beginning of the game where the Earthlings are training, and the segment where you actually have to look for the Dragon Balls to revive Goku. Speaking of the Dragon Balls, once you finish the game, you're able to hunt for them as many times as you like, though technically, they are not the real Dragon Balls, since by that point Piccolo, and therefore Kami, has died, meaning the Dragon Balls no longer exist. To remedy this, Mr. Popo has the power to make his own set of Dragon Balls, although they are weaker than the ones created by Kami and cannot bring back the dead, which I think was a nice touch because it keeps the original story of the anime intact, with the Z Fighters still needing to go to Namek to use their Dragon Balls. In addition to this, the characters that were killed in the story, Piccolo, Tien, and Yamcha, can still be played once you have finished the game. All you have to do is visit Fortune Teller Baba and she'll bring the dead characters back to the living world. I also like this because it keeps the story of the anime intact by using a previously shown method in the anime of bringing dead characters to the living world. Did you also know that Broly is also technically in the game? I say technically because it's not the real Broly from the movie, but a weaker version of him created by Mr. Popo's fake Dragon Balls. It makes sense to make him weaker here, since Goku doesn't even have Super Saiyan yet, and there's no way in hell that the current Z Fighters in the game would be able to beat the actual Broly. To fight him, you just have to find the Dragon Balls and wish to fight the ultimate enemy, with him being the strongest enemy in the game. At the end of the game, there's a silhouette of Frieza shown as well as the planet Namek, suggesting the possibility of a sequel, but so far nothing has ever come of it. I really doubt we'll ever get a proper sequel to this game since it's been 13 years already since the game came out, and Monolith Soft currently seems pretty busy working on the Xenoblade Chronicles series. But hey, I always say never. While I do love the game as it is, I wish the game focused more on Z's story. I can applaud it for creating its own scenarios, and they work pretty well for the game, but I think they probably could have put more content from its source material in if they would have just retold this original story from Z. Now I'm not saying that they have to tell it exactly as it was, but personally I would have loved to see more of DBZ's story adapted into a format like this, which sucks because we'll never get a sequel. My ideal version of the game would have begun right at the beginning of Z, and I would want it to end at the Cell Saga. I could really take or leave the Buu Saga, if we were to take development time into account, but I personally feel that the Cell Saga serves as a better conclusion to Z, and therefore would have served as a better conclusion to the game. I mean, think about it. We could have gotten both Vegeta and Trunks as playable characters, as well as a playable Super Saiyan transformation. Anyways, I hope you understand now why I consider this game to be one of the greatest, if not the best, Dragon Ball Z games to be made. I really wish this game would receive a sequel, but hey, there are still great Dragon Ball games being made today at least, such as Kakarot and Fusions, so modern Dragon Ball games are definitely in good hands. If you like JRPGs, turn-based combat, and most importantly Dragon Ball Z, then I highly recommend you check this game out. Thanks for listening to my insane rambling about a 13-year-old Dragon Ball Z JRPG. I really appreciate it. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and maybe check out my other videos if you haven't.